Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people should be aware that this series may contain images, voices, or names of deceased persons. Imagine the world's island continent, ringed by the rolling seas of 3 separate oceans.
Imagine a coastline that stretches 20,000 kilometres, a great windswept land that spans the Antarctic to the tropics.
Imagine a country so old that the arid centre at its heart was once an immense inland sea. Imagine one of the driest continents on Earth.
And yet this is a land edged north, south, east and west by lush green rainforest and wide open woodland.
Consider the oldest continuous civilization in the world and a knowledge of the land built up over thousands of generations.
And remember that this new nation is home to people from all across the globe and different languages, different cultures, different religions.
The country you're imagining now is Australia, and this is where all its myriad stories begin.
Welcome to Australian Journey, your map to Australia's past, its present and our future.
These are the 12 Apostles, and they stand battered by the sea on the southern coast of Victoria. They remind us again of the ancient character of the Australian landmass. The limestone bed of each sentinel was set in place some 20 million years ago.
But the stone you can actually see now is much more recent. Sedimentary layers of rock that are just a few thousand years old. So in a way, the 12 Apostles embody the paradox of this continent. We are immeasurably ancient, but we are stridently modern. A land continuously making and remaking itself. Isolated maybe, but those seas connect us to the many lands all around us. And we are shaped and reshaped by greater global forces.
Like the Apostles, Australian Journey consists of 12 separate parts. 12 episodes you can view anytime, anywhere, any way that suits you.
And we've organised those 12 episodes around 3 separate themes. Themes that straddle the concerns of ancient and modern Australia. Land and nation and people.
Each episode focuses on a single object, some familiar and iconic, some obscure, even quirky.
But all have been chosen for what they say about Australia. Artefacts, objects, things, they have a life of their own, and they reveal so very much about the time and the place they come from.
You can view Australian Journey in your own time, at your own pace. You can follow the episodes in chronological order or jump ahead to any story you want to.
And you can access a raft of supplementary interviews. Susan Carland in conversation. Sometimes Susan's speaking with a leading scholar in the field. Sometimes with a challenging social commentator. And in Australian Journey, you'll have the chance to join us in the classroom.
But always, Australian Journey invites you to challenge and engage. Together, we'll debate the big questions that define us as a people.
Learning is a shared endeavour. This series builds a collaboration of cultural institutions right across the country. And it involves a working partnership with the National Museum of Australia. The objects we've chosen in this series feature in the museum's world-class collection, and they have come from every corner of the continent.
Some of those objects spring from the land. Some made a long and complex journey here, and one was carried far from our shores, acquired centuries ago by the British Museum.
The Gwiggle Shield embodies one of the very first encounters between Aboriginal people and European explorers. It was taken back to England in 1770 and briefly returned to Australia some 200 years later. That shield, like all the objects in Australian Journey, provides a platform for discussion. We chart the development of the land rights movement, from Terra Nullius to Mabo. We explore the contested question of sovereignty in this country. We meet with Peter Yu, former chairperson of the Kimberley Land Council, and we hear the many voices of Indigenous Australia.
History involves a sense of place, and Australian Journey will carry you the length and breadth of this country.
We'll stand in the place the Commonwealth of Australia was inaugurated and launch a discussion of the way our country is governed. We'll retrace the steps of white explorers across the deserts of the inland. We'll fly high above the wetlands of Western Australia. We will gallop across the plains of Kelly Country.
The Kenya Windmill from regional Queensland introduces the politics of water. The Endeavour's cannon, recovered from the coral waters of the Great Barrier Reef, addresses the dangers of global warming. One moment, we're in the heart of Canberra exploring the pain and the loss embodied in the nation's war memorial. The next, we're in Tasmania, in search of a species believed extinct for generations.
Let's end this introduction with the largest object you'll encounter in this series, that breathtaking building, the Opera House.
The Opera House is a building, but it's also an icon, a symbol of Sydney and of the nation. And this series uses the Opera House as a kind of metaphor. Those great waves set by the water symbolise wave after wave of immigrants to our shores. They remind us of the multicultural vitality of modern Australia.
The National Museum integrated the Opera House into its very design. These distinctive windows gaze out across the water of Lake Burley Griffin to the great Australian landscape beyond. And in this series, you and Susan and I will walk that landscape together.
In the course of making these documentaries, we've filmed on the traditional lands of many Indigenous communities. We acknowledge their enduring custodianship of all the places we have visited, and we thank them for their welcome.
And we've been privileged to work with a host of cultural institutions, the libraries and galleries, the museums and universities that also tell the story of the nation.
Every journey has its beginning, but not every journey finishes in the place you might first expect.
But whoever you are and whatever your destination, welcome to Australian Journey.